Charlie Munger is well known for his insightful quotes on investing and decision-making. One of his most famous pieces of advice encourages people to stick with the process, suggesting that perseverance and consistency are key to success. At first glance, this guidance seems harmless, even wise. However, a closer examination reveals that following such advice without critical thought can have unintended consequences. Blindly adhering to a process may lead to missed opportunities or reinforce ineffective habits. Understanding the deeper implications of Munger's words is essential before embracing them fully. Persistence in investing often carries a seductive appeal, drawing investors to strategies or funds that have performed well over time. The idea that past success will continue can be reassuring, especially in uncertain markets. However, this allure can mask underlying risks that may not be immediately apparent. Factors such as changing market conditions, hidden volatility, or shifts in management can erode the reliability of persistent returns. Many investors may overlook these deeper risks, focusing instead on historical performance. It is important to recognize that persistence does not guarantee future success, and relying solely on it can lead to unexpected losses. A more nuanced approach involves examining the foundations of performance and remaining vigilant to potential changes. At the heart of many investment philosophies lies a powerful question: could unwavering commitment to sticking with the process actually pose a hidden risk for investors? While discipline and consistency are often celebrated as virtues, there is a possibility that rigid adherence to a chosen strategy might blind investors to changing market realities. This central enigma challenges us to consider whether loyalty to a process can sometimes become an intellectual trap, preventing necessary adaptation. By exploring this dilemma, we open the door to a deeper understanding of how successful investors balance steadfastness with flexibility. The answer may reveal important insights about risk, decision-making, and the true nature of investment wisdom. To begin, it's important to establish the framework for our investigation by examining how Charlie Munger approaches investing compared to the typical investor. Munger is known for his disciplined, rational decision-making, often relying on a set of mental models to guide his analysis. In contrast, the average investor may be influenced by emotions, market trends, or short-term gains, leading to less consistent results. By understanding these fundamental differences, we can better appreciate the unique strategies that set Munger apart. This comparison will serve as the foundation for exploring the effectiveness of his investment philosophy throughout the rest of our analysis. Charlie Munger's quote is often distilled into a straightforward message: avoid foolish behavior to achieve success. While this interpretation is popular, it tends to oversimplify the deeper wisdom behind his words. Many people apply the quote as a blanket rule, assuming that simply steering clear of obvious mistakes is enough. However, this approach overlooks the importance of understanding context, learning from errors, and developing sound judgment. The misapplication of Munger's advice can lead to complacency, where individuals believe that avoiding blunders alone guarantees positive outcomes. In reality, Munger advocates for a more thoughtful process that combines caution with continuous learning and adaptability. The phrases "just hodl" and "diamond hands" have become rallying cries in the world of investing, especially among cryptocurrency enthusiasts. These slogans encourage individuals to hold on to their assets regardless of market volatility, framing perseverance as a badge of honor. Psychologically, this mindset can act as a shield, transforming what might otherwise be considered stubbornness into a celebrated virtue. While holding through downturns can sometimes lead to rewards, it also risks ignoring important signals and rational decision-making. The myth persists because it taps into our desire for certainty and community, offering comfort during uncertain times. However, it's important to recognize the fine line between resilience and inflexibility when navigating financial decisions. Emotional attachment to investments can subtly influence our decisions, often masquerading as rational analysis. Investors may find themselves holding on to stocks or assets because of personal significance or past successes rather than objective evaluation. This emotional bias can cloud judgment, leading to decisions that prioritize sentiment over sound strategy. In contrast, disciplined, analytical decision-making relies on data, trends, and clear criteria, helping to minimize the impact of emotions. Recognizing the difference between these approaches is crucial for maintaining a balanced portfolio and achieving long-term financial goals. By separating feelings from facts, investors can make choices that are more likely to yield positive outcomes. In the world of investing, the phrase "sticking with the process" is often used to encourage discipline and consistency. However, there are instances where investors misuse this concept to rationalize poor decisions. For example, some may continue to invest in underperforming assets simply because it aligns with their initial strategy, ignoring clear evidence that market conditions have changed. Others might resist adapting their approach, citing loyalty to their process even as losses mount. These real-world examples illustrate how a well-intentioned principle can be twisted into an excuse for inaction or stubbornness. Ultimately, true discipline involves knowing when to adjust the process, rather than blindly following it in the face of negative outcomes. In the world of investing, it's essential to distinguish between stubbornness and true discipline. Stubbornness often involves holding on to an investment or strategy despite clear evidence that it is no longer effective, driven by emotion or pride. True discipline, on the other hand, is rooted in a commitment to a well-defined plan and the ability to adapt when circumstances change. Disciplined investors follow their strategies with consistency, but they also remain open to new information and are willing to adjust their approach when necessary. This flexibility helps them avoid costly mistakes and capitalize on opportunities. Understanding this distinction can make a significant difference in long-term investment success. Charlie Munger's approach to decision-making is grounded in a disciplined process that emphasizes caution and selectivity. At its core, this system relies on the power of rejection, carefully filtering out opportunities that do not meet strict criteria. Patience plays a vital role as Munger advocates waiting for truly exceptional prospects rather than settling for mediocrity. Safety is another cornerstone, with a focus on minimizing risk and protecting against significant losses. By adhering to these principles, Munger has cultivated a methodical framework that consistently favors long-term success over short-term gains. This hidden context reveals why his strategies often appear conservative, yet yield remarkable results over time. Charlie Munger often spoke about the concept of the too hard pile, a metaphorical place for investment opportunities that were too complex, uncertain, or outside his circle of competence. Rather than trying to solve every problem or analyze every company, Munger believed in quickly rejecting most investments that didn't meet his strict criteria. This process allowed him to focus only on opportunities he truly understood and felt confident about. By being disciplined and selective, Munger minimized risk and avoided costly mistakes. His approach emphasized the importance of patience and the willingness to say no, even when others might be tempted to take on challenging or unclear investments. Ultimately, Munger's success was built not just on what he chose to invest in, but more importantly, on what he chose to leave out. The term fat pitch originates from baseball, referring to an easy-to-hit ball that offers the batter a prime opportunity to score. In investing and decision-making, a fat pitch represents a situation where the odds are overwhelmingly in your favor, a rare chance to achieve significant success with minimal risk. Rather than acting on every opportunity, it's crucial to exercise patience and discipline, waiting for these truly exceptional moments. By focusing only on the most promising prospects, you can maximize your chances of favorable outcomes and avoid unnecessary mistakes. This approach requires resisting the urge to act impulsively and instead being selective, ensuring that when you do make a move, the potential rewards are worth the wait. The concept of margin of safety is a cornerstone in the investment philosophy of Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. It refers to the practice of purchasing securities at prices significantly below their intrinsic value, providing a buffer against errors in analysis or unforeseen market events. This approach acknowledges that no analysis is perfect and that mistakes or unpredictable factors can always arise. By insisting on a margin of safety, Munger and Buffett protect themselves from substantial losses, even if their initial assessments prove to be overly optimistic or incomplete. The margin acts as a safeguard, allowing for a degree of imperfection while still aiming for favorable investment outcomes. Ultimately, this disciplined strategy has helped them navigate uncertainty and achieve long-term success in the world of investing. Charlie Munger's investment philosophy centers on a disciplined approach that prioritizes rejection, patience, and the pursuit of a margin of safety. He is known for turning down the majority of opportunities, waiting for those rare cases that truly meet his rigorous standards. Patience is a key element, as Munger believes in holding out for the right moment rather than acting on impulse. When he does decide to invest, he insists on a significant margin of safety, ensuring that the price paid is well below the asset's intrinsic value. This careful process helps minimize risk and maximize long-term returns. By synthesizing these principles, Munger demonstrates that successful investing requires restraint, thorough analysis, and unwavering commitment to value. When we examine the underlying message of the quote, a subtle but significant trap emerges. Many investors see Charlie Munger's confidence and assume it can be directly applied to their own decision-making. However, this overlooks the rigorous discipline and experience that underpin Munger's approach. By adopting his certainty without critically assessing their own methods, investors risk reinforcing biases and flawed strategies. The danger lies in mistaking self-assurance for sound judgment, leading to overconfidence in processes that may not be robust. Recognizing this distinction is crucial for avoiding costly mistakes and for developing a more thoughtful investment philosophy. Charlie Munger's investment strategy is often described as fortress-like, built on a foundation of rigorous analysis, discipline, and long-term thinking. He carefully constructs his decisions using a robust framework that minimizes risk and maximizes opportunity. In stark contrast, the average investor tends to rely on a patchwork of advice, market rumors, and gut feelings, often making choices without a coherent plan. This ad hoc approach can lead to inconsistent results and increased vulnerability to market swings. Munger's method emphasizes patience and thorough research, while the typical investor's strategy may lack structure and resilience. The difference in outcomes between these two approaches highlights the importance of a solid, well-thought-out process in achieving lasting investment success. Sticking with the process is often highlighted as a key to success. However, this approach is only effective if the process itself is robust and thoughtfully designed. A flawed or incomplete process can lead to repeated mistakes and missed opportunities, no matter how diligently it is followed. It's essential to regularly evaluate and refine the steps involved, ensuring they align with your goals and adapt to changing circumstances. By committing to a well-constructed process, you maximize the likelihood of achieving consistent and meaningful results. A prudent investing process is built upon three essential elements: safety, peace of mind, and ease. Safety ensures that your investments are protected from unnecessary risks, helping to preserve your capital over time. Peace of mind comes from knowing that your financial decisions are guided by a thoughtful strategy, reducing anxiety and uncertainty. Ease refers to the simplicity and accessibility of managing your investments, allowing you to focus on your goals without being overwhelmed by complexity. Together, these elements create a foundation hull for confident and effective investing, supporting both short-term stability and long-term growth. Rather than simply quoting Charlie Munger, it's more impactful to embrace the intellectual discipline that defined his approach. Building a process worth sticking to means cultivating habits of careful analysis, curiosity, and continuous learning. Munger's legacy is not just in what he said, but in how he thought, methodically, skeptically, and with a commitment to understanding. By modeling this rigor in your own routines, you create a foundation for sound decision-making and long-term growth. The true value lies in the process itself, which guides you through challenges and opportunities alike. Let Munger's example inspire you to refine your own methods, ensuring that your process remains both resilient and rewarding. In summary, facing challenges with knowledge and discipline provides a reliable foundation for success. Rather than relying on stubbornness or misplaced confidence, it is important to remain open to learning and adapting. Knowledge equips you to make informed decisions, while discipline ensures consistent progress. By combining these qualities, you can navigate obstacles more effectively and avoid unnecessary risks. Remember, true strength lies in understanding and perseverance, not in refusing to change course. Make knowledge and discipline your shield as you move forward. We invite you to engage with this video by sharing your thoughts and personal investing rules. Your insights can help foster a richer discussion and provide valuable perspectives for others. If you have favorite quotes or ideas you'd like to see analyzed in future episodes, feel free to suggest them. Your participation helps shape the content and direction of this series. Together, we can continue to learn and grow as investors.